The time is at hand.
From Williamson, West Virginia, the gateway to the crackheads. This is In Dark Places. Ghost stories. Real live ghost stories, as reported by real live people. About a month ago, I was sleeping in the spare room due to the boyfriend's snoring. It was about 5 in the morning, and the animals were trying to wake me up to get fed. I tried to go back to sleep. Out of nowhere, right next to my ear, I heard a man's voice say hi. He sounded like a normal person. I freaked out, yelled, "Nope," pretty loud, and ran out of the room. I chalked it up to being half asleep, until about a week ago, my friend who lives underneath me in the duplex said the same thing happened to her while she was in the living room. About 14 years ago, I was walking home from my local train station with a friend after we attended a concert. We decided to knock a few minutes off our walk by crossing the local church grounds. As we passed a statue, I could have sworn the statue's head followed our movements as we walked by. I thought nothing of it and just put it down to me seeing things and kept it to myself. That was until about 50 meters further down the footpath. My friend said, "I know I sound crazy, but I think that statue was looking at us." We proceeded to run to our houses very quickly. When I was 10, my little brother, who was 1 or 2 years old at the time, started speaking more fluently. He started saying some weird things. These always included a lady/woman. One time my mom searched something in our attic and took my little brother with her upstairs so he could look for some of my old toys. There was also a small door that was always locked that probably leads to a private attic. That day, when my little brother was looking for toys, he looked through the keyhole of the door and said to my mom, "Mommy, there's a woman." The creepy thing is that on that day, our family was the only one in the building. Most of the families were on vacation. My mother told me this later that evening, and my brother started saying more things like that. One time he was sitting up at the table with my mother and said, "No, Mommy, you forgot to put a plate there." He pointed at the seat that nobody of us ever used because it was so uncomfortable. My mom asked him why she should put a plate there, and he said, "For the woman." I was standing by the door the whole time, and it was freaking me out for months. When I asked my brother about it now, he doesn't remember. It's not very spectacular, but it sure was a weird experience. I've got a couple. I was like 8 or something, and I was in the kitchen with my old house microwaving a cup of noodles. After I punched in the 3 minutes and pressed start, just as my microwave started working and my noodles started spinning, the trash bin also started rotating on its own. Like nothing I ever saw, the bin started moving by itself. I freaked out, but honestly, I wasn't that scared. All things considered, I just thought that was kind of freaky. But then, I was in 7th or 8th grade, and me, as well as the rest of our student council, were going to go on a trip to the local museum to see this new exhibit that was opening up. Me and some friends were BSing with our school IT guy, and he pulled up a security camera on this computer, and we saw a pure white ghostly apparition on the screen in the elementary side of our school. We weren't super scared, but we were kind of freaked out and wanted some excitement, so we formed an exploratory party to investigate. I was the first guy in the front of the group, and when we got upstairs to the first floor, it was complete pitch black. I didn't feel anything creepy or weird, but the extreme lack of light was a big nope. And this one time, a friend and I were putting our clothes on after we were done showering after a swim in our school's pool, when suddenly one of the bathroom stall doors just decided to pop open by itself. There was no breeze or draft or anything. Me and my friend were waiting on one of my friends who we thought were using the bathroom. Quick side note, these bathrooms were essentially individual rooms. They had a lot of privacy, so they're not your typical school bathrooms. After a while, we decided to knock on the bathroom door, but didn't get a response. After some more knocking, me and my friend decided that we'd open the door. I said something like, "Okay, T, we're going to open the door now, if that's all right." And suddenly, something said, "Shh," in a quiet, but very much audible tone. I thought my friend or T was messing around with me, but he also freaked out too, thinking that I or T was the one who was messing around. After collecting ourselves for a bit, I opened the door, and the door was unlocked, and no one was in there. Turns out T left long before me and my friend. You could say that maybe it was just the pipes or toilet making noise, but if that was the case, then why did it sound so human? Plus, I never heard the pipes make that noise in the bathrooms. That's all the ghost stories I got for you for right now. Thanks for listening. See you next time. God bless.